Cool. Well, we would like to welcome up our next speaker, Michael Kilpatrick, who's here with us. Michael, are you there? Go ahead and we'll unmute and bring you up. All right, we're
Oh,
still
there we go.
there. We are, Michael. Hey,
Yeah.
welcome.
Thank you for having me. Yes.
Hey, you are an expert at doing these things, and I follow what you do, meaning educational events, sharing knowledge and things. And so, man, we're honored to have you here. This is a great opportunity to be able to learn from somebody. So yeah, Michael, let's kind of give a little bit of context about like who you are and who you serve, kind of what you do for those who may not know you.
Yeah, so I've been in agriculture now for about 20 years. We started in upstate New York with a pretty large vegetable farm. We managed about 500 acres, did about 40 of cropping, 100 of pasture. We had, cows, goats, sheep at one point. We had a little bit of everything, but the vegetables is what made the money, and that's what the business ran off of. 2015, we moved to Ohio to be near my wife's family after we had our first child. And took a couple of years off farming, did education at that point. We realized just how challenging many farmers have it. In upstate New York, we had great mentors, and so we were very lucky with the amount of truth being spoken into our lives during that period, and just being able to, I had a question, we had an answer, and so many farmers don't have that. So that's why we did education for a number of years. We still have that company. We've taken a little bit of a back seat to that just because we have a new project called the Farm on Central, which we started in 2020. We bought the property in 2020. And it is an 8-acre urban farm with an on-farm store, on-farm kitchen now. We just finished that this summer. And we serve approximately 3,000 customers. Well, that's how many are in our system at the moment. So, and we keep track of every single one because we're a private membership association, which means that we do business in the private domain and it helps reduce the amount of government bureaucracy and interference with our business. So it makes marketing sometimes a little bit challenging because it's a little bit more challenging to go out to the general marketplace and pushing product. So we have to do a little bit of education before folks come into our funnel or our journey. So that's kind of what we do. Yeah, we're open 5 days a week, and I would say on a weekly basis, we have about 500 to 600 visits a week into our store.
Nice. And you probably said it. Where are you located again?
Yes, or I did not. We're in Southwest Ohio, so about 40 minutes north of Cincinnati, about 20 minutes from Dayton.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Very good. What, yeah, so as you've learned the marketing principles, kind of tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, absolutely. I started out like so many farmers do with, oh, well, everyone needs to eat. Well, yeah, but not everyone wants to eat a beet or, pay $4 for a head of lettuce, which is for a small farm, probably what a lot of times what they need to get. So really, when we started out, we obviously did some of the right things we went to a good farmer's market. And that took us a couple of years to figure out that you want to go to the largest farmer's market nearby. And it may be way more expensive than the local curb market. But at the curb market, you lose money because you make $5 and your stall fee was $5. At the big market, you can make $1,000 and your stall fee was maybe $50. So there's a massive aspect there. So those are the first things we did. And then my brother was into personal development, so he started listening to podcasts and researching people like Seth Godin and different marketing aspects. And then part of this too, because we had a farmer's market stall, we hired someone to manage it. And one of the women that was working with us, she brought in Paco Underhill, who was the father of modern retail. And so he was the first guy that put cameras in retail stores and actually watched customers shop. And we don't quite do that, but I will stand behind the glass in our store now, and I will watch customer flow and just think about, okay, so what could be better? How does this work? But so we have that experience of the brick and mortar, selling actual products to people. But then what happened is because we started the online education business, we got into the online world and started understanding things about funnels and reoccurring revenue and all these other principles of just like, the aspect of like a funnel page that will change a landing page 6 times in 12 hours if we have enough traffic. because we're adjusting the language on the page to speak better to our customer. Now, not saying we bring all those principles into the current farm we have, because we're just not, our farm is a physical farm, people come to it, and we're not focused on the online side. But there is still a lot of aspects of those principles that we bring in. Like on our team now, we have a guy, he's our marketing guy. He focuses on the avatar, and we'll talk about that, you know, the ideal customer, of who our customer is. We spent a lot of time working on that. We spent a lot of time combing through every single customer recommendation or review, and going through the language that they give us and putting that into our marketing. So a lot of those, over the 20 years that we've been farming, we kind of brought all of those into this business. And our business now, the farm business, not the education business. Education is completely separate. The farm business this year should do about $1 million in sales, and this is year 4 for us. Now, again, I am not here to just throw big numbers out there for the big numbers' sake. What I tell you that is to say that because we're able to bring a lot of these marketing principles, it has allowed our business to scale, which allowed us to feed more people, hire awesome employees, and it really hasn't reduced the stress level in our family yet, but we're getting there. So it's definitely going the right direction. We're starting to bring the people in, the team members, which can really help manage departments of our business and really make things work more smoothly. So that's kind of like, that entire, and then the product of what that marketing journey has given us is a business that's rapidly growing. And at this point, we're starting to look at different divisions and going, okay, is that really important to our long-term plan? And do we need to start shading that out? Because at the beginning, and in any marketing business, any business, a lot of times you're just trying a bunch of things. I was sitting in here having a conversation with one of our department heads earlier, and we were talking about like the process in our business of doing R&D. And I was like, hey, in our current Square account, which is how we manage our sales, we have 1,000 SKUs. And I said, we only offer like 200 things in the store. But that means that we burned through 600 different or 700 different other items that didn't work in order to find the right ones that are going to allow us to scale and go to the next level. So a lot of trying different things to make that happen and be able to kind of scale that business.
Yeah, cool. So are you actually coaching people that are doing direct to consumer sales and building out marketing, or?
We do a little bit. Again, that's really more the back burner now. Actually, that company only pays about half my salary anymore. The farm business actually now has started to actually pay our salary now that we're starting to scale a little bit faster. So yeah, it's still out there. We still have a lot of training, but it really comes down to, I think, seasons in life. Is that like the season right now is we have this new business, it's scaling rapidly. We have a period we want to bring on the right people in our business and really be able to get them into key positions. And so my time has really been focused 90% on the systems, the processes, the team. And we have 3 young kids now too. So there's only so many, as you know, so many minutes in the day. So, when I was 10 years ago, when I had no kids, I would, 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. Now, 5 p.m. to like 8 p.m. when the kids go down, that's kid time. That's daddy and kid time. So last night we took the bike ride to the park. And there's really just not a lot of time to do the one-on-one that I wish. I mean, I enjoy it a lot. That's probably one of my favorite things to do, is to really work on the marketing and the systems and processes around that. But I just don't have the free time anymore.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Well, tell us some of the principles about you call it the lifetime marketing system. Is that right?
Yeah. So, and really kind of, it came back to, you guys are talking about Regenerative Legacy Summit. So to me, and again, I'm sure you went into in some of your sessions on what that means to you. But to me, thinking legacy, thinking long-term, thinking things that you build and then it works. If you think about a massive flywheel in like an engine shop or something like that, the thing keeps going, and it's amazing that some of those flywheels will go for, a half hour, an hour after it's been powered down, just because of all the momentum that's in there. Yeah. And I think that's what we can build if we do that, especially regenerative. I mean, regenerative to me is about lower cost of inputs, more about working with nature, more about, using the land and the solar energy and the animals. And so to me, that marketing is okay. Yes, there's a lot of things that you can do and you should do in some aspects. But how do we start to step back and say, okay, we don't want to have to be doing, the daily grind every single day. So how do we build a long-term system that can just generate income for our different enterprises? Especially starting to think multi-generational as well. And my kids are still young, but my 9-year-old, she has a small little sewing business that she started up. My 7-year-old, he, when he decides he wants to do it, he was making some, they're like syrups, like simple syrup. So we did a ginger simple syrup and like a mint simple syrup. And to me, that's like the beginnings of a multi-generational business. Obviously, they have no need for that money because we cover things for them most of the time. But, if you have a audience of highly engaged, passionate customers, and you have a product that meets one of their needs, you can sell it to them. And that's where, when you start to build this multi-generational, at this stage in our business, we don't have the time to do certain things. But the next generation probably will and can really focus on this. And there's so many different things I can focus on at any one time. So that's why it's really important for us to think about what's the long-term vision. How do we build that group of raving fans of customers? And so, kind of to start thinking about that is the first thing is really to know who your customer is. Okay. And we can dive into that a little bit here a little later because there's a lot to that, but it's knowing who your ICR is or your ideal customer avatar. And so when we do that, what we do is we just ask a lot of questions about our customers. We stand out in the store and we talk to our customers and say, hey, tell me about yourself. Okay. So even to the point of where do you go to church? Where do you go to school? What kind of car do you drive? It's really just understanding them and the psyche behind who they are. And even to the point of understanding the political beliefs. I mean, we try to be very agnostic in the aspect of, we don't have a, we have American flags out there, but we're not to the point of, we're picking one or the other, because to us, our customers are equally in two different groups. You have the more liberal, save the earth, we want to eat healthy. But then you also have a lot of the conservative, God gave us this earth as basically the steward. And so they want to eat well. And so you have those two aspects. So we're going to be very careful with that in our marketing to people. So really knowing that customer and then finding out about them. We do a lot of surveying for that as well. So like this year, we've already have 3 different surveys that we'll be putting out in the next 3 months on very specific enterprises in our business, to be able to kind of understand what our customer wants about that. Again, the kitchen is brand new for us. So there's 2 surveys specifically driven by that. And we specifically, in those surveys, ask open-ended questions. And with open-ended questions, you typically have to do slightly more work. So we will pay for the survey or give gift cards out or something. But because it's an open-ended question, they're using their own language and their own words. And so that is gold for us, because then the customer is talking about their problem in their own language. And that gives us incredible insight into them. So we talk about knowing your customer. That's the important part. The customer flywheel. So I actually do have a slide. Do you mind if I share that really quickly here?
Please do. Yep.
Yeah, it's just gonna be one slide. I didn't have the time to do a whole slide deck today. And bear with me for a second as I attempt to share this here. All right, can you guys see this? It says your circle of awesomeness. So what we call this is we call the flywheel, the marketing flywheel, the circle of awesomeness. There's a couple names we use. But this does work in all different businesses. It particularly works in smaller businesses where you do have a lot of talking between your customers too. So the mom that is going to the Azure drop locally to pick up her order, her friend says, "Oh, you're not buying the lettuce anymore or this anymore." She says, "Yeah, I'm getting it from a local farm. There's this name." And we actually use this a lot at our farmers markets to pull in new customers to our business back then. But we also use this at our store, is that we do a fabulous job of getting our customer a great experience. And so that's what we really focus on. I talked about earlier about that marketing guy that actually had the cameras in the store so you can see the experience. One of the things he taught me was the importance of round tables at a farmer's market or just in things, because round tables suck people around. And it's little things like that that we started implementing. One of the other things we implemented on our stand to increase the level of awesomeness was what we called purse space. And so this is the space as a customer comes up to the table, a place for them to set their purse so that they can set their product down and talk to you and have a conversation. Because what's one of the most important things that a woman takes with her? Because again, 90% of our customers in our business are women, is they want to, their purse is very important to them. So they feel their purse is safe. They feel safe. And when they feel safe, they feel they have a positive experience and they're going to buy more. And they're going to, in the long term of that relationship, you are now a safe business to work with. Again, those are just little tiny tweaks that we made in our business and in kind of our process. But what it does is it helps with this circle of awesomeness. Is it helps one person talk to another person, talk to another person, and different levels of connection. So the first level of connection is them shopping in our store. Because we're a private membership now, we make them give us a phone number or an email address. So we now have a second point of contact, which is a way to reach them at home. So obviously we only send them stuff if they opt in, so we're very careful about that. But having those other levels of connection allow us to now, I call it indoctrination. My team calls it, education. But we're trying to educate them on what regenerative, local, small-scale farming should be. Because what the important thing here is the why. And I think that is one of the most important aspects of a legacy marketing is them understanding your why and having a similar why. Because if they are only buying from you transactionally based. So, okay, the other day, I needed a very specific top link for my 3-point for one of my tractors. I literally got online and I found the cheapest one that was going to fit it and I bought it. I didn't care where it came from. That was an incredibly transactional transaction. Is all I needed was a thing. I gave them money. They gave it to me. I don't care anything about that business after that. But if you can get a customer to understand your story, why you do what you do, how you do what you do, imagery of your family, of the farm, and get people to connect with that, come out to the farm. That's what we're really passionate about. That's why we do not do farmers markets. And we really encourage people to come to our farm store, is because our goal is to get them on the farm so they can understand where an eggplant comes from, how a blackberry grows. And so because that level of now trust and that level of them understanding our why, they are a much more loyal customer. They're not, every spring when it comes time to renew their CSA, they're not sitting down and going, all right, Michael, what is which one's cheaper? Is, Mile Creek cheaper or Patchwork cheaper or is Kilpatrick cheaper? They are, Farm on Central, Kilpatrick, we're just going to sign up again because there are people. It's not necessarily transaction anymore. So that why aspect is very important. And part of that why is going to come from you and why you do what you do, but it's understanding again, back to that avatar understanding why they want to shop with you and being able to tap into that as well. So again, going back to that trust, 90% of people trust recommendations from friends. And so that's why it's very important to create a great experience and have your customers as your biggest success stories and as your biggest promoters.
Yeah, I like that. Not all of us on this call here today are direct marketing.
Yes.
But I think all of us have something, even if it's an idea, that we have to sell. We might be selling our kids on doing the chores, right?
Yeah.
Or our spouse. And so marketing, when we think about marketing, we're like, well, no, that's not for me. I'm not a marketer. And kind of as agriculturalists, we pride ourselves on being recluses and not being able to market. And there's some truth to that, right? We chose the occupation because maybe we don't really like people. And we'd rather be alone on a horse or in a tractor. But can you kind of speak to what are some of the key principles, the timeless principles that will help us no matter what in marketing our ideas, marketing our employees to have buy-in in our vision?
Yeah, well, I think it's a lot of it too is being transparent too, because in an age of just fake everything, I mean, fake politicians to fake meat, fake energy reliance, all that kind of stuff. There is that if you actually say, hey guys, our sweet corn isn't as sweet this week. I'm sorry if you guys want to get it, we're selling it for cheaper this week because it's not as sweet. If you want to can it, this is the week for canning. that kind of transparency is something that goes over so far with our customers. I think the other thing too is thinking about the long-term aspects. There's different aspects of our marketing strategy. We talked about, you know, some of the things we did on a day-to-day basis. But one of the things that is long-term with our marketing is our email list. And again, even if you do not want to be the person at the front, if let's say you have a business, you need to sell peppers and you want to be at farmers markets, you do not have to be the person behind the table. It's funny you said that, Jared, because about, you know, not liking people. I can't pull it because it's over here on the other side, but one of my team came up with a cover, and on top of it, it says, "I don't like people." And it had my face on it. It was hilarious. It cracked us all up for like 2 days, because I am that person. And so what I had to do was get out of the way and let the people that do love that join our team, and they're the ones in the store talking to people all day long. So I think, yes, as business owners, you have to do marketing, but you don't have to do marketing. Your business does. And I think that's the aspect of, you know, looking at the E-Myth, looking at some of these other business books that talk about really divisions and how things kind of break down, and just finding someone that loves that and turning them loose. So yeah, that's, I think, the important part is, yes, it may not be you. I happen to love marketing, and that's just what I keep getting shoehorned into in the business, so I'm good at it. But we do also have support people that do support me with some of the projects because I can't do it all.
Like it. Yeah, that's really good. For those of us that are intimidated by these software systems and funnels and all this stuff that maybe you do or don't have to do to market, where would you recommend somebody start out? Like if they feel like, okay, I know I need to sell something, and where do we start? Or is there a program that you'd recommend? Maybe it's your own, maybe it's somebody else.
Yeah, so that's a great question. And someone actually does ask in the question, $1 million off a farm store, how on God's green earth is that happening? That's a whole nother talk. I mean, we could break down our entire revenue and exactly where that's coming from. We do some online sales. So we do some online sales. So it's not completely through the farm store, but about 65–70% will be through the farm store this year. But back to kind of what people can start with. I say the first thing to start with is a very simple website. And the reason I say that is, like people say, we have a Facebook page. You can lose your Facebook tomorrow. And I know so many farmers that have, and they had 10,000 followers. And I said, you know, Michael, it just went gone one day. Fortunately, Facebook's a private company, can do what they want. So have a simple website. And on that simple website, a simple email capture. Anyone that can set up a website can set that up for you. So have that, and literally all you have to do is just have that. If you want to join our newsletter, you can give away something free. Awesome to do that. But just have a box that says join our email list. And you can get email software that's completely 100% free. So MailChimp starts out free. Several of them start out free, so you can start out free. The other thing I highly recommend is a Google page, a Google, I don't know, Jared, what's that called? It's just a Google place on a map.
Oh, yeah. Google Business.
Yeah, Google Business. Yeah, thank you. Google Business. So we, till 2 days ago, at a 4.9 star rating. We had, usually when someone doesn't like us, they try to dox us. And so then we'll get several negative 1-star reviews. And so we have to go in there and try to fight those. But we really work on having a really good review there, because if you search on Google for something, 99% of the time, your Google listing will pop up on the right side right there. And that's massive for just, this is a great case in point. A couple of the team wanted to get together and do an off-farm activity, so we went bowling together as a team. And then afterwards, we were standing around like, well, so we go get ice cream or something. And so I Googled and found an ice cream place, and it had 4.8 stars. And I was like, okay, that's the place I'm going to go. But because that, I would not have gone there without their Google review page. And again, if you're going to let's say you're going to a farmer's market and it's at the specific park or something, I would go ahead and drop a pin for your booth at that market so that your customers, and then have a 8.5 by 11 post on your market stand that says, hey, give us a review. and then someone can scan that, give you a review right there, so that when people in the area are searching fresh vegetables, you are going to come up as the #1 place for fresh, good food, or if you're selling meat or something like that. So that's just a really simple, quick way to start leveraging that anywhere. So I think that two are the most important things, the email list, simple website, and Google review. Those three will get you off to a great start.
Awesome. Cool. I like that. Well, we've only got about 5 minutes left, Michael. Are there any other key things that you'd like to emphasize here around your message?
Yeah, I would say that don't look at what we do and be like, there's no way. We started with a card table, and I remember clearly to that day, I was growing some lettuce. I cut 12 heads for the farmer's market. I was literally giving the lettuce away because we couldn't sell it. I was like, if you buy a dozen eggs, I'll give you a whole head of lettuce free. I had no idea what I was doing. And it's literally been, wonderful mentors, events like this. So if you're showing up for this, that's awesome, because you are going out there and getting the information you need to grow your business and build that legacy. So it takes time. Again, I've been very lucky over the years with who I've been able to reach and be in contact with, and just keep looking at those next things that you can do to your business. One of the things we try to do on our farm is, right now, a lot of the times we're sucked in with working in the business, because our business is quite not scaled as much as we would like it to be for us to be working on the business. But I try to at least 15 minutes a day work on the business. And that means setting up a process, a system, or a SOP that allows someone else to take something off my plate, or something else to be automated. And so that is something that we track as well. It's like, okay, how many things are off our plates? How many things have we trained other people for? How many different things like that? So that to me is also very important. And there's no way we'd be where we are today without our team. So the team is where we are. And I really feel that a business needs to be big enough that at least have a team of 5 or 6 to really be truly sustainable. I know people maybe disagree with me, but to prevent burnout, prevent a lot of those challenges that can happen, I think you desperately need a team.
Yeah, build a team. Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. So yeah, I think you kind of answered the one question. Last question here is, Clay says it always blows my mind that email is more powerful than social media. Is that true in Michael's experience?
Yes. Yeah. I can just give you a really recent example. Is so our online store, we sell some plant products. Like right now, we just finished up our strawberry plants for the season. Well, our early strawberry plants. And so they turned ads on. I didn't realize the amount they turned ads on, but they spent about $980 on ads for strawberries. I don't have the exact number on how many dollars in revenue that generated, but it wasn't enough for what I would like to see. For I think 8 days, 9 days of those ads. And that was a combination of ads and social media posts and things like that. We sent out 2 emails to our list, and that generated about $6,000 or $8,000 in sales. I don't have the final numbers yet. And you can tell the moment that email goes out, because orders just start coming in.
Huh.
Email is incredibly powerful. And again, it comes back to knowing who your avatar is, what they want, being able to answer their questions they're going to have before they even ask them. But having that email, anyone in the online marketing space would absolutely tell you that that a strong email list is gold. Cool.
Very good. Well, Michael, can you share how people get a hold of you? Where do you have
Yeah, so if they want to follow our farm, it's farmoncentral.com. That's just the farm side of things. Our education is growingfarmers.com. Again, it's pretty simple. We don't have a lot of things that we offer there at the moment. We have the Thriving Farmer podcast. So that's if you just want to listen to almost 300 episodes of interviews with so many different people and so many different topics. That's a great place to just kind of, all you guys are out in the field doing things, stick those earbuds in, and away you go.
Like it. Yeah. Well, that's great. And then, we just dropped in the chat the offer that you have for folks. What is that offer, real quick?
Yeah, so it's a farm marketing checklist. So one of the things that in one of the courses we created, it was like, how do we help folks figure out like the top things to go do and then check those off? Because again, in this 30 minutes, I gave you so many ideas.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm just a guy. And I probably gave you an idea that we haven't implemented yet. So I think what we did with this checklist is we tried to break it down to like 10 or 12 top things that farmers can do to really help turbocharge their marketing and go to the next level.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. What a great addition to this summit. We appreciate your willingness to come here, Michael, to be able to speak to us and have this more of an interview style, but it's been wonderful to maybe get our feet wet for those who might be just getting started. And I'm sure that even if you're down the road and already have a thriving direct marketing business, there are some key insights that people have taken away. So please go ahead and share those in the chat, what you've taken away from Michael. And Michael, thanks. We'd love to have you back again sometime, maybe on a webinar, and we can dive deep into more of the nerdy stuff about marketing.
Yeah, absolutely, Jared. Thanks so much for having me.
Okay. Yep. Take care. Have a blessed day, Michael.